All right, welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a diagnosis for our modern world that actually comes from an ancient prophet. It's this idea from the book of Jeremiah called the heart problem. And honestly, its relevance today is, well, it's pretty startling. So let's just dive right in.
I want you to just imagine this for a second. What if a whole society's biggest crisis wasn't economic, wasn't political, but medical? A terminal condition, not of the body, but of the heart. Well, that's exactly how the prophet Jeremiah saw the spiritual crisis happening all around him.
And the way Jeremiah describes it here is just so powerful. He says their sin wasn't some surface-level mistake they made. No, it was etched into their very character with a pen of iron, literally engraved on the tablet of their hearts. This wasn't a problem that could be easily wiped away. It was a fundamental part of who they had become.
Okay, so to really understand this diagnosis, we have to get to the root cause. What was actually producing this hardened heart? The prophet's answer was something he called idolatry.
When we hear the word idolatry, our minds usually jump to ancient statues or something. But the concept is so much broader. It's really about giving our complete devotion to a counterfeit source of life, security, and meaning. Basically, looking for our ultimate value in something other than the real thing.
The theologian John Calvin, centuries later, put it this way, and man, it's just such a perfect summary of Jeremiah's point. He said our hearts are constantly producing idols. It's like a default setting for the human condition to just create things to worship, to look for ultimate satisfaction in stuff that just can't deliver.
And this slide right here, it just brilliantly illustrates the choice that we're making. Jeremiah describes the true source of life as a fountain of living waters. But instead of drinking from it, the people turned away to dig their own broken cisterns. Cracked, completely useless containers that couldn't hold any water at all. It was a foolish and ultimately a fatal trade.
So, what happens when a patient with a terminal heart condition completely refuses treatment? Well, the prognosis is going to be grim. And because the people of Judah refused to turn back, their choice had some really severe and sadly unavoidable consequences.
Yeah, Jeremiah does not sugarcoat the outcome one bit. The cost of their hardened hearts was just catastrophic. He uses this horrifying language: poisoned water, death climbing through your windows like a burglar, bodies scattered like dung, all to try and wake them up to the reality of where this path was leading them. But here's the really tragic part. It didn't have to be this way, not at all. To see why, all we have to do is look at the story of another prophet, Joel. As you can see here, he gave a super similar warning to his generation. But look at the difference. They actually listened, they repented, and the disaster was averted. The people in Jeremiah's day, they got the exact same choice, but their hearts were just too hard to accept it. And so, judgment became inevitable. But look, the consequences went even deeper than just physical destruction. The most profound, the most tragic side effect of idolatry is how it fundamentally changes the worshiper from the inside out.
So what is the real danger of giving your heart to something that is ultimately empty and powerless? It's not just that it won't deliver on its promises, it's actually something far more personal.
And Jeremiah gets pretty sarcastic here, which is kind of great. He totally mocks their gods, saying they're like scarecrows in a cucumber field. They can't talk, they have to be carried around, they can't walk. They are utterly powerless blocks of wood. And yet, this is what the people chose to worship.
And here it is. This is the crucial point, echoed perfectly in the Psalms. We become what we worship. So if you give your life's devotion to something that is spiritually blind, deaf, and foolish, well, you can probably guess what happens next.
The transformation is a simple and honestly a devastating two-step process. First, you worship a God that can't see, can't hear, can't know anything. And second, you become spiritually blind, deaf, and foolish yourself. The people's hearts just grew dull. They totally lost the ability to see truth and recognize the danger that was right in front of them.
And this is the ultimate irony of the whole thing. Jeremiah points out that even migrating birds have the built-in wisdom to know when it's time to return home. But the people, by worshiping these empty idols, had become more foolish than animals. They had lost their most basic spiritual instincts.
So how does this ancient diagnosis apply to us today? It's really easy to judge people for worshiping statues, but the principle of that idol factory inside our hearts is just as active today as it ever was. A modern idol is really anything, and this is key, even a good thing, that we turn into an ultimate thing.
It's whatever we look to for life security and significance, other than the true source. It's that one thing we think we absolutely have to be okay.
And here are just a few examples you might recognize. As the theologian Tim Keller points out, these aren't bad things at all. I mean, career, family, even morality are good. But when we make them the source of our identity and security, well, that's when they become counterfeit gods. That's when they become idols.
And just remember that core principle. You become what you worship. The consequences are pretty predictable. For example, if you worship your career, it can easily turn you into a driven, shallow workaholic. If you worship approval from others, you become fragile and terrified of criticism. These idols don't just fail to deliver, they actively warp and shrink our hearts.
So, that leaves us with one final question to think about. What in your own life is acting like one of those broken cisterns? What are you looking to for a sense of life, security, and meaning that, if you're being really honest with yourself, is promising something it just can't deliver? According to Jeremiah, that's where you'll find the modern diagnosis for this very ancient heart problem.